Summit. I hope everybody took the chance to join our breakout sessions, talk to our vendors, some really exciting topics to talk about. If you had the opportunity to listen to the cloud topic on SASE, you probably now have a new meaning and new appreciation for being SASE. It is a model that even the state aspires to as we deliver a zero trust based security model for our constituents. A lot of great stuff, a lot of great information. The good news is that we're recording all these sessions and we will make it available for you to come back and listen to it. So if you missed some of the other topics, whether it's the phishing or the scammers, it's an opportunity for you to review the videos and get some more information about all these wonderful topics. It's probably lunchtime for most people, so hopefully you grab your favorite sandwich or your lunch and sit back and really enjoy this topic. It's even more relevant now than ever before. The bad guys, it's almost like they're students of psychology. They're students of world news and they read the news. They know what's going on in the world and they can target to an audience that it's relevant to. So if they know this is time that people are looking for employment, this is an area that they will target. So John Bell has a 10-year history with the Better Business Bureau, working to track fraud and scams targeting Delaware. He works with local law enforcement, state agencies, as well as with local banks and financial organizations to identify threats against businesses and constituents. John does frequent outreach for businesses and the public, sharing local and international data geared towards helping our constituents and our employees and businesses stay safe. This topic is one that even the state has experienced, where our Department of Labor site will have fake companies set up profiles and try to leverage that to get information about our constituents. So I'm very excited about this topic, and I want to just use this opportunity to hand off to John. And John, we're really looking forward to getting some tips here on things that we shouldn't be doing when we're looking for jobs. So take it away, sir.
Thank you so much, Solomon. And thank you to everyone for making the time to tune in today. Thank you especially to DTI, the Greater Wilmington Cybersecurity Group, the Delaware League of Local Governments, Deltech, UD, Delaware Small Business Development Center. You know, an opportunity to share information like this is absolutely what has to happen to prevent losses. And I'm going to go through some of the things that Better Business Bureau tracks. Those of you who don't know, BBB is an international nonprofit. If you really boil down our mission, we want to make sure people don't get ripped off. So, you know, we have been busier than ever since the pandemic started with people that are doing pre-purchase research on businesses, people that are doing charity review, people that are trying to evaluate, you know, whether something is real in the context of a business that they might work with. What we've seen with employment scams is not part of the pandemic. It's not started by the pandemic, but it's exacerbated by it, by the amount of unemployment. But employment scams are actually the #1 fraud, the riskiest scam that BBB has been tracking since last year, and it's just gone gangbusters since the pandemic. But first, just to bring it on home here for Delaware a little bit, we are at the top of a list you really don't want to be at the top of when it comes to the number of reports and the number of people losing money to fraud and scam. Again, the statistics from the FTC, they speak for themselves, but the idea that, you know, we have so high an instance of fraud reports and identity theft reports, and then an equally large number of people, 1 in 4 almost, that lose money. This is something that we need to pay a lot of attention to try to educate people here in the first state. So what is an employment scam? What does an employment scam look like? It looks like this. Lisa is in her mid-40s and she lost her job during the pandemic. She'd been an office manager for about 10 years. And look, she's tech savvy, she didn't panic. She did what you need to do. Updated her resume. She got online, created a profile on Indeed. She went ahead and started looking for opportunities in customer service or other similar opportunities, but hey, look, it's a pandemic. So she was looking for a remote opportunity and she found one. So the company went ahead and they emailed her through Indeed and they said, yeah, we like your look at your resume. We'd like to do a Google Hangouts interview because I don't know if you've heard there's a pandemic on, so we're not going to have you in. Company was in Dover. Company said, let's do this online interview. And look, they did it. They did all the interview questions you might expect. Where did you hear about this opening? And what are your key professional strengths? What do you know about our company? And what is your definition of hard work, Lisa? They put her through not one, 2 rounds of Google Hangouts interviews. They made her earn this. And why? Why would they do that, right? This is a scam. Well, think about what you do when you get a job. What do you provide to your employer? Think about your own company's paperwork that you ask for. Probably ask for name, date of birth, social, probably. What about bank account number for direct deposit? Email address, phone number, address? You ask for everything. You ask for everything. And if you're getting a new job as a candidate, you give them everything because you're excited about the opportunity. This is from Indeed. This is the email Lisa got that said, hey, yeah, we'd like to talk and schedule an interview with you. Now, I will say that the scammers haven't quite perfected, in this example, exactly the grammar and the English. There are still a few warning signs, but she submitted her resume to them. She went to them. So she could forgive a little bit of a slightly off-kiltered email back, but it asked to take the conversation offline, led Google Hangouts. And I hear a lot of people in the security community talking about all the red flags that come from phishing emails, all the broken grammar, all the poor English. But look, scammers have got Grammarly too. And increasingly they have native English speakers because this is big business and this is a lot of money. And so we see things like this that come out as well. There's 1 or 2 areas in here that are a little bit squirrely as far as how the language is put together. A biggest red flag for me is that no HR person is free Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 until 5. Show me an HR person with that much free time and I will show you a liar. But the point is, these are sophisticated, very hands-on scams, but it doesn't stop with your information, because if you're a scammer, well, you've got somebody that now believes you, hook, line, and sinker. Well, man, that's an opportunity for you. And, I tuned into Bill Denny's talk, and he mentioned the Blackbaud ransomware. It is incredibly popular for scammers to look for the double whammy. Get you once, but get you twice. And ransomware, it works like this. Hey, pay us to decrypt your data, but if you don't pay us, we're going to leak your data. Double bang, if they got your data, why not use it twice? With employment scam, they can go a step farther and say, okay, great, you got the job, welcome aboard. We're going to go ahead and send you a check because we want you to get a computer, we want you to get a phone system, we want to get you professional wardrobe, whatever it is you might need. But of course, we're not local, right? We're down, we're up in Wilmington and you're in Seaford, or we're in Dover and you're in West Virginia. It's a work from home situation. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to send you a check and we're going to have you wire transfer some of that money to our preferred vendor. They're going to come out and set you up with everything you need. But hey, we need you to do this by Wednesday, new hire, because look, man, we got to get you started, right? Training period's going to get going. We need a lot of exciting things going on with our company. And so deposit that check quickly. Now, for those of us above a certain age, there are some red flags that come along with depositing a check and then wire transferring the money from that check quickly. But I have talked to an awful lot of young professionals, and we do a lot of outreach at BDB through local universities. We do it with even high schools. And, if you're under about age 30, checks, they're not really on your radar. I talked to a group of young professionals in Dover who said they were actively intimidated by writing a check. They're like, yeah, what if I do it wrong? There's like a 00 over like an X or something. Actively intimidated. So look, when they get a check from a new employer, what do they do with it? They take a picture of it. That's how they deposit a check. And guess what? In their app, the money says it's available because bank law requires that money to be made available much more quickly than the bank is going to know that that check is cleared. So what you have is this perfect storm of especially younger consumers who see an opportunity. Maybe it's full-time, maybe it's part-time, but look, these websites that they're directing you to, they look safe. HTTPS I put on this slide. And listen, I know that this is the security community, so you get it. but people don't. They see that little padlock and HTTPS and they think, safe. That's a real company. They don't understand what encryption means. They think if it's encrypted, safe. Oh, no, it just means that the scammers don't want anybody looking at the traffic either. Fake checks make up a big part of it because, again, when the scammers have you on the hook and you think you're going to get a job, they might send you a check and they're going to ask you to go ahead and deposit it quickly and then wire transfer it. That's, again, a slightly different introduction to a fairly common scam. But again, they're also getting a lot of your information. This is their employment page. And look, man, I have seen them send copies of their articles of incorporation. I have seen them send an employment contract, an employee handbook. You can find most of the stuff online, or you can make a forgery of it. Super easy, super easy. This one here, it says, go ahead and attach a copy of your driver's license in addition to your information, in addition to your direct deposit information. Send it, please, send it. Secret shoppers is another one we see, especially students. We have an email from UD. It was a student that got it through their Handshake program. For those of you that don't know, Handshake is the program where UD can collect or can connect employers with their students and their alumni. So the student got an email, said it was from Handshake, said it came from a udel.edu email address, and it said, hey, we've got an opportunity for students that want to be a secret shopper. We checked the code of conduct, there's no conflict of interest, but you can make about $300 if you get a hold of this company, and they'll get you set up. You just need to go ahead and give them your information, they'll mail you a check. You go out and buy Best Buy gift cards, pay attention, right? Like, how's the lighting in the store? And are they polite and friendly when you go in? And then come back and scratch off the gift cards and upload them into their website. But, they'll send you a check for $300. You buy $200 worth of gift cards and the last 100 is yours. Some version of this scam, by the way, has gone around at least Goldie Beacom, UD, and Dell Tech, and they look like the internal listserv. Scammers can forge. They are getting very hands-on because they make more money that way. So when these kids, and not always kids, but in this case, the students get them, one, they think it's a legitimate email, goes back to the phishing education we've talked about. But again, they're not being asked to do much of anything really. They're not asked for anything except to go ahead and look at this company's website. Website looks good. It's from someone they trust, so they trust it. But it gives the scammers access to students' information, and then it gives them access to their money. Because by the way, when that check doesn't clear, the bank takes the money that they spent. Lisa, when she got that job, they transferred, it was the company she went to work for, ostensibly, was called BitGo Mining, LLC. And what they did is customer service for cryptocurrency transactions. They said, Lisa, we know you don't know much about cryptocurrency, so we're going to transfer $4,500 into your bank account. All you need to do is withdraw the money, go to a Bitcoin ATM, we'll tell you where their one is, deposit it to the wallet that we're going to give you, and bam, you're going to be an expert, because that's how you're going to be able to tell people on the phone about troubleshooting cryptocurrency issues. So we just need you to do it real quick by Wednesday. So the money's going to be there in 15 minutes. You need to withdraw it real quick and go. Look, you could forgive people for doing this, right? She went through 2 rounds of interviews. She had been at every step of the way impressed that the company seemed real. It was a really good salary. It was a work from home position, so she did it. So she had lost her job, and she was living on $7,000 in savings. She then took $4,500 that they transferred into her account. If you're keeping score, she's up to $11,500. Took the $4,500 out, sent it away to Bitcoin ATM. Comes in to the bank the next day, and she's like, spider sense is tingling. This feels weird. Like it was a gas station. I was at this sketchy ATM at a gas station. Like the bank says, yeah, you know what? Let's flag your account for fraud and let's investigate. They investigate. They're like, yeah, Lisa, it totally was fraud. So we're going to close your account. We're going to send you a check for $2,500. And she's, wait, what about my $7,000? They said, well, no, it looks like you withdrew $4,500 and you sent it to scammers. And she said, no, that was the money that they put in. And they said, no, we sent that back. We found out that was scam. She was the victim. So she had worked for this company for 10 days, I think 9 or 10 days, before she realized it wasn't real. She had not only lost her savings from the scam, but she had not been looking for work, right? She had not been looking for a job. She had been living off of her credit cards. She had been doing the things that you do before your first paycheck comes in at your new job. And it's awful, right? It's awful. We see this happening a lot more this year. But this was a huge problem even last year. And I'm telling you, this is not going to stop. The scammers, yes, absolutely. There are scammers out there that will send you, the Nigerian scam email. Oh, you've got $10 million. We just need you to smuggle it out of your money. I'm here to tell you, those are the JV squad of scammers. All right. Those guys are just firing and forgetting it. It's a rip and rip mentality. How many email addresses can I get? It's a numbers game. The employment scammers, the business email compromise scammers, these are sophisticated, hands-on scammers that are willing to put the time in for the payoff. They run just like a business too. But it's going to be a bigger problem because the work from home environment is here. It's here, and it's not going to go away. And so the idea that you're not going to be able to interview in person with a company, well, there goes one of your safeguards right there. The idea that it's easier for you to consider applying for a job across the country, that's more reasonable in a landscape like we have now more than ever before. And so we're going to see this problem continue. Who's at risk? Everybody is. By numbers, it's younger people. Skews much younger. Susceptibility is all over the place. Everybody is at risk. And look, when BBB judges riskiest scams, we judge it based on exposure, susceptibility, and money lost, right? I mean, if you just look at number of phishing emails sent, phishing emails, my God, is the biggest problem ever. But if nobody falls for it and nobody loses any money, then the volume alone isn't enough to really judge the risk. Employment scams followed, well, actually, jockeying for position with online purchase scams are the scams that target the greatest number of people, that work most often, and that see significant losses. People find these jobs all over the place. I'm here to tell you that students and younger consumers find them on social media. They find them on Instagram. One of the scams that we have been trying to educate people about that is a particular problem in Delaware because of our registered agent laws, package reshipping. So you are a student, and well, in fact, Dion is a student. Dion's a student at Goldie Beacom, and he got an opportunity to work as a logistics inspector. It was a work at home, part-time opportunity. He found it on Instagram. It was answering an ad that said, earned money fast. And basically the idea is, hey, Dion, if you want to make some money, we'll pay you $25. What we're gonna do is we're gonna ship you a package, and we want you to open it and inspect it. Make sure that, it was properly packaged, make sure that it is, wasn't broken in shipping. You're a quality control expert. Dion, that's what you're gonna be doing for us. We are a fulfillment service that works with Amazon, and we need you to be part of our chain to make sure that this quality is being delivered properly. So you get the technology, because it's always technology, you open it, make sure it's okay, you close it, you print off a reshipping label, and you send it to Cameroon. And then you get another one, and you look and you make sure it's all okay, and you close it and you ship it to Moscow. And you get the next one, you open it, and you see the idea here. But they said, Dion, I'll pay you $25 a package. You want to do 4 packages a day? That's $100. You want to do 40 packages a day? Man, not too shabby for part-time work. Well, all goes well. The packages start arriving, and then what happens? What happens is the police show up at your door and say, hey, Dion, we've getting a lot of reports about stolen goods showing up here at your door. Poor guy is terrified. And this happens, I see this across my desk at least weekly in Delaware. Because of the reshipping laws in Delaware, because of the ability for large shipping organizations that do online commerce, they're going to flag 20 iPhones going to Cameroon, Africa. But they're not going to flag 2 iPhones going to John Bell in Wilmington and another couple going to Solomon Adote. They're going to be able to, scammers that get stolen credit cards need to monetize them, and they can't use those credit cards for very long. So what they do is they get a drop. That's what they're called, drops for stuff. They find these kids, usually, and they find people that are going to go ahead and reship their stolen goods. 40 out of 5 times initiated by the scammer. I'm not so sure about that stat anymore because the numbers that I see across my desk here in Delaware, people reach out to them way more. They answer something, they answer a link on Instagram, they answer something online, but they're still reaching out to people as well. Here it is. Reshipping jobs are a problem nationwide, but again, here in Delaware, I see them weekly. So how do we educate people that no, this is not a real job, and no, you're working for no pay, but they give you a login and a website, they give you the ability to print out the reshipping labels, and it feels real. But I tell you, between the fake checks, between the stolen goods that you're reshipping, and especially between the lost personal information, This is a huge problem, and it's only going to get worse. Interesting statistics. Most of the people that are looking for a job that fell victim to these scams were unemployed, but not all of them, right? 53%. Another quarter of them were just people that were full-time employees looking to find a side hustle, right? Gig economy, maybe. Maybe they were just people that were unsatisfied, or who knows. But it's everybody. And that's sort of the grounding point here, is that this is not a scam you can say, well, that's not going to affect somebody like me. It's going to affect everybody or your friends and your family. Sad, and I talk to these people, and it's sad, but this is a reality, right? People that are looking for a job are in a more precarious position, and since half of them are unemployed, that means that they can't really afford to fall for one of these scams. So this is a lot about consumers so far. Your businesses need to pay attention to this as well for two very important reasons. One, they are impostering you. Scammers know brand recognition. They know that if they put up something on Instagram that says, come work for Amazon, Amazon is a well-known brand. So you follow the link, they give you a phone number, they tell you they're from Amazon, they use an email address that looks similar enough to Amazon. You can forgive people for accepting something like an opportunity at Amazon when it looks like it's from Amazon. These people are not being foolish, they're being tricked, and it is social engineering. I've heard that through several of the talks here today. It is absolutely, the things we saw 100 years ago with snake oil salesmen, right? It's building credibility, source credibility. It's talking about, scarcity. Well, you've got to earn the job, or you're going to miss your opportunity if you don't take it. Phantom riches, how much money you're going to make at this job. We routinely see these fake employment offers that are saying, oh, you'll make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a week. But your company is being impostered, so you need to be online, and you need to look at the job boards. Certainly on the big ones, Indeed, Career Builder, et cetera, but even Googling to make sure that what is apparently your company's hiring for. Your HR people need to be paying attention to that. And you need to be educating the people that do interview with your company. This is lost potential. These are people that might be good candidates for your company that might not come to work for you because they see one of these scam opportunities at the same time. Most people are putting out multiple resumes. So if you can do work to educate people internally, if you can do work to educate people so that they can pass it on to their friends and family, that is going to help your company. And yes, certainly Google alerts, things like that to make sure you know what's going on, but paying attention to it is going to help because you are going to be impostered. Talk about it. This is, and spoiler alert, this is crazy, but if you know about employment scams, you're less likely to fall for them. That goes for every scam, but BBB has done research that we asked people, where do you think you learn about scams? And then we asked the scam victims that weren't victimized, where did you learn about something that stopped you from being a victim? And look, the news is number one, right? But word of mouth is number two. And look, at the 10 years I've been with BBB, the challenge is you have got people in the news paying attention to the sexiest of scams. The grandmother that loses her $30,000 nest egg, that's going to get primetime coverage. The student who lost, $800, not so much. Not so much. So pass it on, talk about it. Make this something that is part of your outreach to your prospects and your candidates. Talk about it with your friends and family, and certainly talk about it to people that you know that are looking for a job. BBB has a tip sheet that's available that talks about the things that I've mentioned here today, some of the ways to avoid it, some of the data that we put together. And listen, BBB, we are a free resource. If you know an organization that would benefit from this kind of outreach, especially for younger consumers. Like I've done it in high schools, I've done it in colleges, I've done it for young professionals groups. We do them by Zoom now because of the landscape we're in, but we've done these in person for years. It's just, we could use some help publicizing it, and it's information that especially younger consumers need to hear. You can report these things as well. That's been talked about an awful lot, and reporting it does help. We have a scam tracker service where you can also look up what's happening locally, but knowing more about it is going to help everybody. That's the time I have today. This is a much bigger topic than anybody could talk about, even in the full day conference, but I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who tuned in to hear about this. I don't know if I've got much in the way of time for questions, but if you submit them in the chat, and I can't answer them, then I will absolutely get back to you after the event. And thank you again to DTI for hosting and for putting this together, and for all the organizations that pulled together. I hope this was helpful for you.
Thank you so much. And John, we have about 5 minutes, so maybe we can get some questions in.
Yeah, if anybody has, let's see.
So John, is there any capabilities in LinkedIn and Indeed to help identify these fraudulent job postings?
So yeah, great question. And BBB has just started an international relationship with Indeed to try to help. And look, they do, right? They do try to scrub these. It's just scammers can make a job look very real. I told you before, I've seen people that have sent me copies of employment contracts. I've seen them impostor a business and send the certificate of formation for the business, right? I mean, look, if you can pull that publicly and you can make your name the name of the person on the piece of paper, because you can create an email address that looks similar to it, you can forgive people for falling for this. But we are working with those organizations, and they themselves are taking steps. But as far as being ironclad and bulletproof, you've got to double check it. My favorite one for candidates is when you're doing an online interview, you'll know where the company's located. Ask them what county they're in. Say, oh, so Solomon, your business is in Wilmington. That's great. I'm in Seaford, but what county is Wilmington in? And watch that Google Hangout scammer go, Delaware. We're in Delaware, because they don't always do that much research, right? They don't expect those curveballs. So the more you can ask questions, the more likely a candidate is to be able to suss that out. But there's no bulletproof solution that the platform's going to be able to offer.
Thank you. As a state, we're exploring different ways to help protect our job banks, like our unemployment job banks, because we do see this level of fraud. An area we're putting a bit more resources into is identity proofing, and not just human identity proofing, but business identity proofing, where as part of registering for the service to offer jobs, that they prove themselves that they are who they are. We're looking at government ID validations where, you take a picture of your driver's license front and back, take a selfie and say, hey, this is who I am. I'm offering this job. And how to electronically validate documents associated with businesses, and reach out, not just validate that the document looks real, but call a database and validate that information is real. So we're looking to integrate this in a lot of the state services in the coming years, and provide a better opportunity for our constituents to have more integrity in terms of the data that they're receiving and the services that they're receiving from the state. Because you're right, with the COVID, that physical proximity is a challenge. The ability to look somebody in the face and shake their hands is not there. So we have to explore these options and ways of doing this electronically. So thank you again, John. I really enjoyed the conversation. I took some notes. I will definitely reach out and share your video with our Department of Employment too. I think they will find it very valuable.
Well, thank you again very much.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the time, John. So very good. We're just at the end of our summit. I really want to thank Daniel Elliott. That initial keynote was very key to kicking this conference off. John Bell just some really relevant content to the situation we're in right now. Nathan Smolensky, Connor Swam, Joshua Makpet, Hidavatu San, Nia Okai, Raymond Pompin, and William R. Denny and Richard Sand, all excellent speakers. And I hope you had the pleasure of hearing them speak. If you didn't, definitely check out the recorded videos at your leisure, and get a lot more information to help you going, to help you keep going. I also want to take this opportunity to really thank my team. Sandra Alexander, our Director of Risk Management and Governance, has led a very strong team of organizers that have a full-time job in keeping the state going, but they take that extra time that they can to put this together, to get this information out to our constituents across the state. So Sandra Alexander, Laurie Gorman, Jacob Blackstein from Small Business Development Center, Servia Alvarez from our Small Business Development Center, Jared Bates from Delaware Technical Community College. If you haven't had the chance to meet Jared, he's an amazing gentleman, an amazing educator. And, for the state of Delaware, his students are highly sought after for technical positions like cybersecurity and things like that. Phil Hughes from the Delaware League of Local Government, Leona Norvell, University of Delaware, Bob O'Brien, and Betty Smith from DTCC. Excellent support from all those that are not necessarily part of the state, but they are family to the state, and always lend their time, their very critical limited time to this effort. Your virtual event host was Sandra Alexander, Laurie Gorman, Claudette Martin was Heather Volkman, and Tina Dirksen. They made this virtual summit possible. They overcame a lot of the fiscal challenges we would have and made this possible for us. To our vendors, we're indebted to you. We can't thank you enough. Cisco, CNT, Infotech, CrowdStrike, Info Solutions, MTM Technologies, MySherper, One Identity by Quest, PSCI, Delaware Small Business Development Center, SecureNet, MD, ServiceNow, University of Delaware Cybersecurity Initiative, Versaline, and Wilmington University. In closing, while you have explored and developed some really critical cybersecurity skills and knowledge today, please let us know what you found valuable, which areas we should put more time into, and what kind of contents do you want to see next year. Certainly this year's event platform was different, but we're looking forward to next year, and God willing, we will be together. We will have a huge venue. We will get some drinks. We'll get some food. We will get to interact. We'll get to just hang out and not just share information, but be together as a family in this fight, in this cybersecurity fight. We continue to pursue the Chase Center and the Riverfront as our facility. We've put in our reservations for next year. We're very excited that they're partnering with us for the next conference. We know it's been a full day, but if you still have time, we strongly recommend the vendors you didn't get to see, this is the time to see it. When we put this conference together, my message to our team is that our constituents, our family members, our colleagues, they don't get to go to a huge conference like RSA or DEF CON or some of those major conferences in Vegas or California or somewhere else. And what they miss in those opportunities is the interaction with the vendors. Getting that contact of somebody from Cisco. So when you need services, when you need help, you can call. Knowing somebody at CrowdStrike that you can call and say, I think I've been breached, or I think I have ransomware and I need help. And they can parachute down their resources and get you squared away. So take this chance to get to know them, get as much business cards as you need. You will never know. We've had breaches of organizations we partner with. And when we show up with our tools, and our tools enable them to survive. And we bring in partners like Versalines to help. So please get their information, hear what they have to say, and win a present, win a prize while you're there. I'll give you just an idea of some of the prices that, just in case you haven't checked them out. PSCI is $75 Dash gift card, $50 Amazon gift card. We have some $100 gift cards. We have AirPods, and some both Bluetooth speakers. So I think at this point I would say bye. I will say thank you, and we appreciate you spending this time with us. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy our vendors and enjoy our speakers.